we do.
Exactly 12 hours from when you're going to see Eowyn talk about the finale with Molly.
Yes. Molly will have strong opinions, I'm sure.
Molly feels things very deeply.
So I would like to know how many profiles has Molly entered during the Connect-a-thon?
742.
I love it. But guys, you have got 8 hours left to add profiles and get them in for the last. Can you believe it, guys? The last Connect-a-thon of the year. I love the Connect-a-thons. I can't believe we're halfway through the year. And the next thon will be October, right? I think the first weekend in October for the Source-a-thon.
Yep.
I think that's it.
It might be the second weekend, but it's in October.
It's in October. So, guys, we've got a full packed hangout. So let's get to the word of the hour real quick because we've got really fun stuff we want to talk about. And the word is projects. So type it up or type it however you care to type it. Just type it in. And for those of you that are new to WikiTree or new to the Hangout, this is your first one. Welcome.
Chris is in the house. Holy
and
Chris.
What typing projects does is it will enter you for a drawing. So you can, again, type it anyway, uppercase, lowercase, does not matter. You can type it in a million times. You still only get one chance, not a million. And let's go ahead and dive right in. So the word is projects. When I first started WikiTree, there's a project that was, kind of where I was researching at the time, and that was a Civil War project. And I thought, okay, I'll join this project. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't really know what I was doing, but it was a project that I knew about and I knew research from. So I said, I'm going to join it. Let me join it and see. And then I found a community within that community. So I'm going to ask everybody one at a time, what projects or project do you want to talk about that you really enjoy and have fun with? And you guys tell us as well in chat. So Eowyn, you are the elf.
That's me.
What was your first project?
My first project was greeters. That's the first thing I did. And it was very different than it is now. We didn't even have a calendar when we started. People would just jump on. And it was fantastic. There were some really great leaders of it. And that was kind of my first introduction into the community part of WikiTree.
It really was, because you were responsible for the people coming in, explaining what it is. Did you have the honor code then?
We had the honor code. Yep. But it wasn't. It was mostly just like, hi, welcome. I don't think we did the follow-ups then. We just confirmed. We greeted them when they were guests and confirmed them when they upgraded.
Yeah, back in the day.
That was a long, long time ago. It's certainly involved, but it's definitely cool. Darren, we can hear you. It's definitely one of the friendliest groups of people for sure.
And I like to say, and I kind of learned this from Pip, who is part of Greeters. If you go to a restaurant and you have to stand there and wait for somebody to seat you, if somebody's right there to greet you and say, hi, hello, and be personal with you, and how many in your party, and where would you like to sit? Would you like this or that? That's a greeter. And so could you imagine coming to WikiTree, and we're very different. We're one tree. So that makes us very, very different and maybe a little confusing. A greeter makes you feel, greeter makes you feel warm and comfortable, and you belong right from the beginning.
Certainly
you do the same thing at Walmart, with those little vests and all that.
But would you say, Eowyn, it certainly
sets us apart from a lot of other sites? No, I can't think of another one that really has you're greeted by a live person pretty close to it when you join.
So. I definitely agree. And Chris, you want to mention your main project?
Well, obviously, I have several projects I'm in, but the one I'm really, really active in, aside from the ambassadors, is the Italy project, which, as you know, is my bread and butter, basically, around here. I like it because I'm half Italian, and we don't really have as much an Italian presence on WikiTree as I might have liked. Italian profiles and not to the world tree really. I go to my watch list and not many people are connected to the world tree. So it's just like, okay, add all these Italians in from wherever they are in Italy, from the north to the south, and just hope for the best. Hopefully some of them immigrated to this country, to America, or wherever they are, and just hope for the best. And I like the Italy project because, Italy is obviously one of my favorite countries. I'd like to visit there. I have relatives that are still living there and all over Europe, and I want to learn more about it. And that's
You
a
know
really
what?
fun.
And
More
you and A1 pointed out kind of the two different, they're a little bit more distinction, but the two different project tracks we kind of have. We have a functional and a geographical.
Yes.
And when we talk about projects, we're not only talking about locations, we're talking about how you can help us at WikiTree, because WikiTree is free. We don't charge, and we need volunteers in the functional, such as the greeters and the rangers and the mentors, and also the geographical, as Chris mentioned, with Italy. Stephen, what's one of your main projects that you work in?
Oh, dude, you're muted. Dude, you're muted.
There's a party going on at Stephen's house.
I have to find the right mouse. I'm not used to this one. Okay, so I have both a functional and a geographical that I'm predominantly involved in, I believe. So Germany project is the geographical one that, I contribute a lot to, the German profiles because I have a lot of German ancestry, living in Wisconsin. There's a lot of Germans I can focus on here as well. So I'm still actively trying to help Germany genies with the numbers during the Connectathon. I also work with notables. So, I consider myself, a member of Notables Project. I actually edited a whole bunch of notables while I was hiding for a little bit, not working on, rock stuff. I was just like working on other profiles and not doing much outside of that, but it gave me something to do. So now what I've actually found is during the thon, I found notables that I've connected into the tree, and they also have German ancestry as well. So this is actually covering both of my interests.
A win-win. And I want to point out, you mentioned notables, and some people, especially those that are new to WikiTree, think they cannot work on notables. I'm only going to talk about deceased notables. Living notables is a completely different thing. So I only talk about deceased notables, and they're like, oh, they're so unique, and I shouldn't touch them and I shouldn't add them, but you can. And all you need to do is check out the notables project. They have complete documentation on how to work and add a notable to WikiTree. You don't necessarily need to be a project member to do it, but if you are a project member, you're working with the community as well. And Elaine, give us some of your favorite projects.
Sure. I know Emma will talk about U.S. Black Heritage. So I've been in Jewish roots for a while, and one thing I really enjoy about it is being able to read gravestones, because almost all of them have the father's name on it, so that can kind of give you hints back another generation. And I love languages, so I pick up little bits of Dutch and German and all kinds of other stuff. What was I going to say?
That's pretty cool, but that's a fairly good point. As you research, and a lot of us don't want to research in a different country because we're unfamiliar, and you're picking up on little bits of the language.
Yeah, but it's also like you don't have to. That's just something I enjoy. Or the Family Search Wiki also has a bunch of genealogical word lists for all kinds of different countries. And with G2G, we can just tag whatever country we need and get the language translated. So that's something I spend a lot of time working on.
And then Emma, let's book in this because I know that you both work with Emma. What's your project?
Well, when I first joined WikiTree, I joined all the project because I was like a kid in a candy store, and I was like, what is this crazy and wondrous thing that I should have been told about ages ago? I was so in love with everything. I think Greeters was one of my first projects because I don't know, I love people. Imagine that. I love talking to people. So I was a greeter for years. Right now, my main project, two main projects that I lead are the U.S. Black Heritage Project and Adoption Angels. And we both projects have pretty much a similar goal, and that is connecting families together. In the U.S. Black Heritage Project, one of our biggest goals is to connect enslaved ancestors to their family, and the Adoption Angels, we're trying to connect people who have been disconnected from biological family. And that's my happy place. I love connecting families. I'm also a member of the Connectors Project because
I was going to say, yes, you are.
Connect. I'm all about the connection, and I'm all about finding ways to connect people and finding more ways to connect families together. That just gets me very excited. And the connection finder, favorite feature.
I know it is. And I want to give a shout out to the Adoption Angels because I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but this is free. This is up to your grandparent level, I think, right?
Finding parents for grandparents up to that generation. Yeah.
That if you were adopted or an MPE, you get an Ancestry DNA test, and the Adoption Angels will help you for free. I know of no other place on WikiTree that not only greets you, but will help you find research and find your family for free. I know no other place that does both of that. And as an honor code, we were talking about that at Roots a little bit. Julie was talking about it, I don't know anybody else that has this honor code, where we come in and we say we're going to act appropriately and greet you and work together on one tree. And Darren, your project, I'm not sure. Yours might be geographical, your favorite one.
I sort of like between projects. So, like geographical, I do New Zealand. A topical project, I do notables. I do the categorization project for functional. So it's like I'm all over the show, and I like them all.
You like more projects?
Yeah, I like all the projects because each one, like, they have different ways of doing it, but it all makes WikiTree better.
And
wait, what?
I know. Did you say free beer?
I missed it.
That's what I heard.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Sorry, I'm on my phone, so it's probably a bad connection.
Okay, because I'm sitting here like, what project is that again? Where do I sound?
Tell me about this beer project.
What project is
What,
Jerky's
this?
interested.
I think it's the last
Talking
name,
stick.
and that's kind of a Belgium project maybe as well. I want to do pause for just a second, though. Darren today had a very big deal happen. What happened to you today, Darren?
Yeah, well, earlier this morning, I passed 5,000 in my CC7.
Congratulations.
Nice.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
a big deal. That's a very
so
big deal.
I don't say getting the next level, which is like 10,000 or something like that, but yeah, it was a long time. I didn't think I'd get 5,000, but I managed to do it.
Keep plugging away, and I love it when people get their badges during a Connect-a-thon. That's just so cool because you're working on your people. That is just so cool. Okay, Kathy, what about you?
There's two projects, well, three that are really near and dear to my heart. The first one is the one that both Eowyn and Emma mentioned, which is the Greeters Project. And I'm going to plug it. If you have an hour a week and you're over in like Europe or down in New Zealand or Australia, when the U.S. is sleeping, if there's anyone that has an hour or two, if you want to be trained to be a greeter, please join us. We do have a lot of blank spots, and we're filling in as much as we can, but we really could use the help. It's a great job. I have come across people that will sign the honor code that Eowyn greeted or that Emma greeted, from years ago when they joined. And I think those are really cool when, the person may have left and come back, they sign the honor code, and it's like, oh, I know this person. That's fun.
I think the person
And then
long gone.
Yeah, and then there's the Italy project, which I try to be as active in it as I can. But the England project kind of takes a little more of my time.
Well, you're on the trail. You help those that are on the trail for England, right?
Well, to join the England project, you go through the Orphan Trail. But I'm what's called the Trailblazer, which is our name for the guides. And we do have a wait list. So it's not like you can join and go through the trail right away. You just kind of need to wait for a Trailblazer to be available.
And we're all volunteers here, just like you guys in chat.
Yes.
We're all volunteers. So, and we're able to do these cool things because WikiTree is free and we volunteer. So I'm going to ask you guys if you remember off the top of your head who greeted you.
Oh, I was going to say, my greeter was Charlotte Shocking. She's one of my best friends now.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, yeah, your greeter's important.
Mine was Mags. And I never knew the connection that we would have. And I'm going to tell you guys a real freaky connection real quick. So I'm in a new home, just went to settlement this week. And that's kind of why I'm in and out and not putting up big numbers because we're moving this week. The house that we bought, the man who built the house, his very, very long time ago, his sister-in-law is a 7th grandmother of Mags. So that WikiTree is a small world. You never know. And she greeted me. She's the one who first said, "Hey, welcome to WikiTree." So many years ago. So it's really kind of cool how things come back around in full circle. Okay, who greeted you guys? Do you remember?
I wouldn't have a clue.
When I joined, they were still doing it a little differently, where it was kind of like you requested to join, and then one of the staff would set up your account for you and then let you know it had been set up, and then you could participate. And that was Tammy. If any of you remember Tammy Osmer Myers, she was mine. She set it up for me.
Who was your career?
She was my account setter upper.
And to go all the way back, if you've been on WikiTree for a while, to go all the way back is going to take you longer than this hangout it probably is to go through your comments to see who greeted you. But how do you find out who greeted you? You go to your profile page, scroll down to your comments, and go to the very first one. Isn't that kind of cool? You just find the very first one.
Like
maybe word search for welcome or something.
And I love
or go to bottom of profile, yeah.
Pip was my greeter, and Pip was my greeter. I love that. Okay, so the question has become too, let me bring it up. How do I find the projects? How many projects are there? What projects are there? What are their names? Some of us will, mention it throughout the week or the month on our projects, inside our projects, and also on G2G. And then everybody has a G2G post. Each project has a G2G post as well. So if you go to your profile, what you're going to do is come up to the find and then scroll down alphabetically into projects. And that will bring up a list of projects. Now, keep in mind, there are sub-projects as well under some of these projects. So you can go to the category for projects. I'm not going to do that. But as we scroll down, I'm going to keep coming, and you'll see that there's geographical, there's theme projects as well. We hardly ever talk about some of them, like the Huguenots and the Magna Carta, as well as the Disasters Project. We hardly ever talk about that. And then as you scroll down, the functional projects, and this is where we were talking about Adoption Angels. There's the DNA Project. There's the Connectors Project, which we talked about. And brand new, this is our very newest project, I think, is the Connection Checkers project that we have. Brand new, hot off the presses, it's the Connection Checkers. And what is Connection Checkers? That's the feature profiles that we have that come out every week on Tuesday, and you see how close you are. Come over to the G2G post that Abby puts up and tell us how close you are. And Darren gets the honor of finding the winner, who is the closest each week and who did the most work with the longest trail. each week.
Yeah.
So that is our brand new project. But again, just come up to the find and come down to projects, and that will bring you to the list of projects. And I'm going to show this one, and that I'm going to show the greeters project. I'm going every hangout that I've been on this connectathon, I've done something different. I have challenged each of you to do something. So challenge you to do the guests, challenge you to do the selfie. Now I'm going to challenge 10 of you to do the greeters project, to sign up and give 1 hour a week. That's all you got to do. You get training. They do fabulous training. And let's say you need to go on vacation or something like that. Elaine, it's really easy, right? To have somebody fill in.
Just send an email, mark your spot on the calendar as blank. Someone will fill it in.
And
we still could use more. I know we mentioned European and Southern Hemisphere and stuff, but we could still use some USA Standard Time. Because there's spots Saturday, Sunday in the middle of the day. Like anyone all over the world would be welcome.
Yeah. Would be welcome. And it's just 1 hour a week is what they're asking for. Not too much of your time. And a lot of times, if it's a little slow, you can still WikiTree on the side and then catch up on your greeting as well. So you're already there. You're already WikiTreeing anyway. So just 1 hour a week. If you want to give more, give more. And I've known sometimes people will do 2 hour blocks at a time, or some people might do 1 hour on a Monday at lunch and 1 hour on a Friday at 5 o'clock. So it's up to you. But definitely check out the greeters. We put the link in the chat as well. Check out the greeters, and I'd like to challenge you guys to help them out, because everybody wants to be welcomed. Everybody loves that part of WikiTree. You did, I did, we all did, but we're volunteers. And to keep WikiTree free and have greeters, we need greeters. And I'm pretty sure that last year or year before, Nancy became a greeter from this type of request.
Yes, she did.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Nancy's one, and she picked up as a greeter. So I welcome everybody to come on aboard and be a greeter. If greeting, you can also be a ranger. There's so many opportunities for functional projects as well as the geographical. Or you could do Emma's route and belong to all of them.
Try them all.
And Emma,
try it out. I mean, you don't have to stick around if it's not for you, but you can at least try it. That's what I did. Tried them all.
I'm going to guess there were less projects around when you had all of them than there are now.
That was 2006. Wait a minute. That's almost 9 years ago? Oh my gosh. Almost 9 years ago.
I joined in 2017 also, and I think I remember my greeter, but I think I checked on her like a few years afterwards, and then found that she wasn't on WikiTree anymore. She was like unknown person or hidden whatever. I think she left WikiTree or something. I don't know. And I just checked her profile, and I can't go past a certain date. I can't go back past like 2019 in the archive. So I don't know.
I will tell you that, Haley, I saw Elaine's head, shake too as well, and I'm sitting here shaking. Pip is a rock star. He's just a rock star.
he fills in the gaps, and he's a rock star greeter, like you said.
And
just so friendly. I love reading his weekend posts. Like, he's an original writer. I appreciate him.
He really is, and he's so happy to meet people and greet people. He's so friendly, and if you don't know Pip or haven't seen Pip or don't know enough Pip, I guarantee you right now he's doing a connect-a-thon in a kilt.
He also hosts, he also hosts weekend chat every weekend, but not like during a thon weekend. So.
Yep, that's what Elaine was saying. He's just so great at that writing for his weekend chat. So look for that. That's always, he posts that up on Saturday mornings. Is that when he posts?
Fridays.
Fridays.
Yeah, Fridays, like around noon my time.
And here's where we're talking about a sub-project within a project. So the 1880 Census Project is a sub-project of the USBH project. So when you get into a project, you might find different levels of sub-projects too that interest you. So check it out. Every project page, like right in the middle, has this little outlined area that tells you how to become a member. And it's always mostly going to involve a GGG post. I don't know of one that doesn't involve a
They should
GGG
all
post.
have them.
Yeah. So, okay, a last chance to type in projects, and we're going to do the drawing.
Can I give a shout out to one more project before you do that?
Absolutely.
I have to mention the New Zealand project because they have been nice enough to let me be their project leader for a while now. You know, I don't know anything about New Zealand genealogy. I've learned because they're very nice and patient. But they're down there quietly doing their thing. They work really hard. Kind of down there behind the scenes, and they're just a delight to be a part of.
Oh, I'm sorry, those puppies. They've got a great vibe, don't they?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I know. I just think Aowen that the name Aowen too is
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
you kind of have to accept me because of
I
the
know.
learning stuff, and I feel like one of them should offer to house me if I ever go to New Zealand. It's on my bucket list. Just saying, throwing that out there.
Oh,
And-
mentors. Yeah. we
If
need
you
more
want to
mentors.
drop a month and a day in a year or two,
Hey, if someone's willing to house me, let me know when.
there's a one-way ticket. Aowen's gonna.
I may be there for a while. Forever,
Gonna
but I'm really clean and tidy, and I'm just a nice person to have around. So,
Must love dogs.
oh yeah.
Yeah, must love dogs. So there you go. Okay, so here we go with the projects. Good luck, everybody, and let's go ahead and draw. So, Aowen, do we still have the WikiTree shower curtain? Will we have it in the future?
Let me explain that in just a sec. I just
Okay.
Thank you, Ruth. You're so nice. I'll be there one
Oh,
of these days.
Mr. Randall, you won!
Mr. Global
Congratulations, David.
Yeah.
I think we're still calling him David. We did have a Midnight Madness question about what name would you name yourself.
No, he's Michael, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Michael. So,
Another Michael.
and I will tell you, this is why David has not been in the Hangouts hosting, because he wanted to win a mug. There's a certain mug he's after. So he finally won. So, David, let me tell you how to get your prize. So after the thon, give Aowen a few days to recover from the thon. She will contact you with a list of what you can order. The shower curtain may or may not be part of it. We're going to find out, and then she will get in touch with you, and you'll get in touch with her. So, Aowen, take it away.
This is great. Let me take a second and explain what happened with the store that we had. I explained it in G2G one time. That was I ran that store. That wasn't like an official WikiTree thing. We mostly used it for prizes, so we'd have a way to ship it. The company that we were using was really good at first, but they've really declined over the last while. And so people are just now getting their January Connectathon prizes. Those just showed. My parents ordered sweatshirts at Christmas time. They just got those. So they are really far behind on production, but they are still producing and they are still shipping. So I'm optimistic that the prizes that have been ordered for the January and April Connectathon will get to people sometime. But because of that, I'm closing that store because that's not acceptable. And so this time it's a little bit different. I'm trying out Printify, which is super well established, well known. So there are 4 prize choices this time that you can pick from, and I'll send those to the winners. I am debating about whether or not to start another kind of unofficial WikiTree store. I know it's fun to have all the team things and the WikiTree stuff. Printify has a lot more options than the Spring store, but Printify just produces. So to have the store, I would have to set up like a Shopify account so that there's a storefront for you guys to shop from, which I don't necessarily mind doing. It's just, it's not free. So I just have to make sure that I can kind of make enough back to just cover the cost of like their monthly fee. And if people are interested in having a store, it would be great to tell me that so that I just know you guys like that stuff and you're interested, because I think it's fun for us to have. But if it's not exciting for you guys, then
I think it's fun. I think that we advertise it during the thons. Maybe what we need to do is within our projects, especially if you have specific project gear, we advertise it in our projects more, because I don't think I do that.
Yeah, we have the flexibility with Printify to make a lot more kinds of things. We were just looking because someone joked about whether or not they would have hand lotion, but they do have daily moisturizer. We could get WikiTree branded daily moisturizer.
You need that because you're typing so
you're
much.
Typing.
Right?
That's exactly what we were saying. It was like your hands are dry from typing. You have your WikiTree daily moisturizer.
So do we have a link?
There's not a link because right now there's not a storefront. It's just
okay.
Printify, so it's just for the production. We do have. Here, I'll type it in.
So inquiring minds want to know. So WikiTree, and AON want to know. Are you guys interested in buying products throughout the year, not just on?
I just put a link in the chat where you can go and see pictures of the 4 prizes, the prize options for this time. I made a space page for it, so you guys could see what the 4 things that are available, since there's not a storefront. Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, guys. We heard it from the top, so we know.
That's my story.
That's our story, and we're all going to stick to it. Thanks, everybody, for being here. You guys made it fun in the studio to learn a little bit more about your projects and what you enjoy doing on WikiTree. And we saw all your responses as well as you came through in the chat. And I think the best thing to leave with is, again, I'd like to challenge at least 10 of you, if not 50 of you, to join the Greeters
81
project.
People. 81 new greeters, guys.
There you go.
Mentors, we need mentors too.
We would rock it. I will let you know, there are some greeters I know that are taking like 4 and 5 hour shifts, so somebody is covered and not missed. So if you could help Pip, that would be fantastic.
Yes.
We will see you guys at Midnight Madness. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one and keep on connecting.